totally honest for a second. Have you ever stared at an old couch or maybe a mattress you bought a year or two ago and thought, man, I wonder if I could still return this thing? Well, if you bought it at Costco, you're going to want to hear this because the answer might actually shock you. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the ultimate guide to Costco's literally legendary return policy. We're going to uncover exactly how you can return items long after you've bought them, the unwritten rules of the returns desk, and the pitfalls you absolutely must avoid. So here's our roadmap for today. 1. The legendary policy. 2. Exceptions to the rule. 3. No receipt solutions. 4. The step-by-step process. 5. Beware of return abuse. And 6. Key takeaways. All right, Section 1. The legendary policy, the consumer empowerment arc. If you shop at a Costco warehouse, you already know the place is absolutely massive. But it's their approach to customer satisfaction that really makes them a unicorn in the retail world. The whole foundation of their business is a risk-free, 100% satisfaction guarantee. And they apply this to both your membership and the stuff you buy. Basically, what this fundamentally means is that there is literally no official time limit for returning the vast majority of items they sell. Seriously, if you buy a blender, a jacket, or even a sofa, and 18 months down the road you realize it just didn't hold up, maybe the motor burned out, or it just wasn't what you expected, Costco will take it back and refund your purchase price in full. No crazy restocking fees, no hostile interrogations. It's just done. To really put this into perspective, just look at the rest of the retail landscape. Your standard retail store usually caps your return window at 30, maybe 90 days if you're lucky. Walmart, 90 days. Best Buy gives you just 15 days for most things. But Costco, they essentially say, bring it back whenever you're not satisfied. And honestly, this is so incredibly empowering for us as consumers. It completely removes the anxiety of buyer's remorse, especially when you're dropping cash on huge, big-ticket items. You just know your investment is protected, basically indefinitely. Section 2. Exceptions to the rule. Knowing the boundaries. Now, before you go rent a U-Haul to return 3 years' worth of living room furniture, we really need to establish the boundaries here because while most merchandise falls under that unlimited return window, there are some very strict exceptions you cannot ignore. The biggest one? Electronics. You have exactly 90 days from the date you receive the item to return things like TVs, computers, tablets, cameras, and major appliances. And honestly, this makes sense, right? Technology depreciates so fast. If they didn't cap this, people would just treat Costco like a free rental service and swap out their TV for a new model every couple of years. Other exceptions include diamonds over 1 carat. Those have no time limit, but you absolutely must bring the original paperwork so they can do a 48-hour gemological check. And lastly, things like cigarettes and alcohol are generally a no-go. But that's not Costco being cheap. It's actually because state laws usually prohibit returning those items. Okay, let's talk about a really specific, kind of controversial category, food. Yes, you actually can return opened, partially eaten food to Costco if it goes bad prematurely or if it just tastes awful. But there's a sort of unspoken operational rule you need to know about, the 50% rule. Basically, you need to bring back at least half of the item. So if you buy a massive 2-pack of cheese, eat a whole block, and the second one turns green before its sell-by date, definitely bring it back. But if you eat 90% of a giant sheet cake and try to return the very last slice claiming you didn't really like the frosting, yeah, the returns desk is absolutely going to raise an eyebrow at you. Moving on to Section 3, No Receipt Solutions, the membership loophole. So, picture this. You've got an item that fits all the criteria. You bought it a year ago, but you have absolutely no clue where the receipt is. You're probably panicking, right? In the old days, returning a year-old item meant frantically digging through a shoebox full of faded, crinkly thermal paper receipts, just crossing your fingers you'd find the right one. But the Costco way totally eliminates this headache. Since you have to scan your membership card every single time you check out, their point-of-sale database seamlessly tracks literally every transaction you ever make. The paper receipt? That's just a convenience, it's not a requirement. And get this is actually pretty mind-blowing. While the Costco app and website only show your purchase history for the last 2 years, the internal system that the warehouse returns desk uses can pull up your purchases going back 10 full years. No joke, 10 years. So if you lost the receipt for a desk you bought 4 years ago, don't stress. All you need is your physical membership card and a rough idea of when you bought it, and the staff can dig it up for you in a matter of seconds. All right, Section 4, Step-by-Step Return Process, Tactical Execution. So, how do we tactically execute a return for a year-old item without breaking a sweat? It's pretty simple. Step 1, gather the item. Now, the original packaging isn't strictly required, but bringing all the random parts, manuals, and power cords is highly, highly recommended. Step 2, grab that membership card. As we just learned, it is your absolute golden ticket. Step 3, head to the warehouse returns desk, which you'll usually find right by the entrance. And step 4, communicate the issue truthfully.
Let me give you some really actionable tips for when you're actually standing at that desk. If you don't have the receipt, just tell them your rough purchase date. Say something like, "Hey, I bought this couch around the summer of 2022. Then politely ask them to use your membership number to look it up. When they ask why you're returning it, just state clearly why it failed to meet your expectations. There's zero need to be defensive here. Just a simple, "It hasn't held up to normal wear and tear," or "It just stopped functioning properly" is completely valid under their guarantee. If everything checks out, they're going to refund your original payment method. And hey, if you don't have that specific credit card anymore, no worries at all. They'll just issue you a Costco shop card.
Section 5, beware of return abuse, the rule of fairness. Okay, but right here is where we need to have a slightly more serious conversation. Remember that incredibly convenient database we talked about? The one that tracks all your purchases so you don't need a receipt? Well, it absolutely works both ways. It is also rigorously tracking your return behavior. You see, Costco relies on an institutional trust model. They trust you to use this amazing policy in good faith. But make no mistake, they are definitely watching for patterns of abuse.
And unfortunately, some people out there try to push this to the absolute limit. Retail fraud is a massive, multi-billion-dollar issue, and Costco sees plenty of it. I mean, employees and Reddit forums are full of wild stories. People returning totally dead brown Christmas trees in late January. Customers dragging in a 7-year-old heavily soiled dog bed. Recently, a couple even went viral on TikTok bragging about returning a perfectly working window AC unit in the fall, just because the summer was over and they called it a life hack. Guys, that is not a life hack. That is straight up return fraud.
So the crucial point you really need to understand is this. Costco store managers have full discretion over returns. If they spot a pattern of you buying expensive items, using them for a year or two, and then returning them just to fund new purchases, they will put a stop to it. The system automatically flags habitual returners, and Costco actively reserves the right to completely revoke your membership and ban you from the store for abusing their privileges. So the golden rule? Use the policy when a product genuinely fails you, but treat it with the respect it deserves. Section 6, Key Takeaways, your empowerment summary. Let's bring all this together. If you take literally nothing else away from this explainer, please remember these 4 key things. Number 1, Costco's 100% satisfaction guarantee truly has no time limit for the vast majority of what they sell. Number 2, do not drag your feet on electronics. You have a very strict 90-day window for TVs, computers, and appliances. Number 3, never stress over a last receipt again. Your membership card tracks everything for up to 10 years. And number 4, use this incredible benefit fairly. It is there to protect you from bad products, not to be treated as a free rental service. Just a quick note before we wrap up, return policies, warranties on specific things like tires, and laws regarding items like alcohol can definitely vary depending on your state and can absolutely change over time. So always double-check directly with your local warehouse if you're ever unsure about returning a specific item. So now that you're armed with all this insider knowledge, I've got a question for you. Look around your living room, check your kitchen, maybe peek into your garage. What is the absolute oldest item sitting in your house right now that totally failed your expectations, that you really wish you could return? Because, well, if you bought it at Costco, you probably still can. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy risk-free shopping.